Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNZF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I'm your host, David Lyden, the Flagler County Veterans Services Officer, and naturally I'm here with my friend and colleague at the office, Eric Flores. Good morning, Eric.
Good morning, Dave, and good morning to all our listeners out there. And I hope that everybody's doing well, enjoying this heat, hot weather and nice weather and the rain that comes and goes, but enjoy every day that you have.
If you're lucky enough to live in Flagler County, you're lucky enough. And with this great weather,
Indeed,
we do have a guest who's going to show us and tell us how to better utilize this great weather and the rain that we get periodically.
Yes.
So, as you see on our cameras today, we have Judy Jean. She's a horticulture agent with Flagler County. She holds a graduate degree from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and she currently dedicates her expertise to the UF/IFAS extension in Flagler County, where her focus is on promoting horticulture education through initiatives like the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program and the Master Gardener Volunteer Program. She's also an authors a blog on the UF website. So welcome to Judy Jean.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, and so we'll get to talk to you in the second half after we clear out some of our normal stuff that we do. And so, but thanks for being here.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Eric and I are your Flagler County Veteran Services officers, and we're at 1769 East Moody Boulevard in Bunnell. Our phone number is 386-313-4014. We're there to help veterans with their VA claims and their families and much more. And that could be military, retirement-related information, all kinds of VA benefits like education benefits, burial benefits, health care benefits, so on. So, again, check us out, 386-313-4014. Please call for an appointment so we can dedicate the proper amount of time to your issue. And I want to let people know that we are sponsored and podcasts on WNZF are sponsored by Massage by Natalie and Company. And they are at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, Suite number 1. Their phone number is 386-227-7499. So if you're out there in the garden and you're
Yes.
and you're down on your knees and you're pulling weeds and you get achy breaky bones and muscles, then find Massage by Natalie and Company.
Yes,
right?
like I do. You know, when I'm working in my yard, guess what? The next day, I'm achy.
Yeah, you're out there raking and you're pulling weeds or whatever. You may need Massage by Natalie, or you probably
indeed
do need Massage by
yeah.
Natalie. All right, so you folks know that for the last couple months, we have been highlighting a President of the Week. This week is no different. This is our 17th President of the United States, and that's Andrew Johnson. Andrew Johnson is often overshadowed by his predecessor, Abraham Lincoln, yet his life and presidency are filled with fascinating and lesser-known details. Born into poverty in Raleigh, North Carolina, on December 29th, 1808, Johnson grew up in circumstances that shaped his gritty, self-reliant character. His father, a porter, died when Johnson was 3, leaving his mother to support the family as a seamstress. With no formal education, Johnson was apprenticed to a tailor at age 10, a trade that became his lifelong craft. Remarkably, he taught himself to read and write, a testament to his determination, though he never mastered spelling or grammar, which critics later mocked. Johnson's political ascent was unconventional. A tailor by trade, he entered politics as a Jacksonian Democrat, championing the common man against the elite. By 1864, he was a Southern Unionist, chosen as Lincoln's running mate to symbolize national unity during the Civil War. His loyalty to the Union was striking. As a Tennessee senator, he was the only Southern senator to remain in Congress after the secession, defying his state's Confederate allegiance. His stance made him a target. Confederates once offered a reward for his capture. Upon Lincoln's assassination in April 1865, Johnson became president under dire circumstances. His presidency, however, is often remembered for its controversies. A little-known fact is that Johnson was drunk during his vice presidential inauguration, slurring his speech after taking whiskey to calm his nerves. This incident fueled perceptions of him as coarse and unfit. a reputation that dogged him. His Reconstruction policies favoring leniency toward the South clashed with radical Republicans, leading to bitter conflicts. He vetoed civil rights bills, arguing they infringed on states' rights, a stance that alienated Congress and emboldened Southern resistance to black equality. Johnson's impeachment in 1868, the first of any U.S. president, stemmed from his defiance of the Tenure of Office Act by removing Secretary of War Edwin Stanton. Less known is that he survived removal by a single Senate vote, thanks to Senator Edmund Ross, whose decision cost him his career. Johnson's tailoring skills also left a quirky mark. He reportedly made his own suits during his presidency, a nod to his humble roots. After leaving office, Johnson returned to Tennessee, later winning a Senate seat in 1875, only to die months later from a stroke. His legacy remains complex. A self-made man who rose improbably high, yet whose presidency faltered amid post-war divisions. His story, marked by resilience and controversy, reveals a man shaped by his era's turbulent currents. And our quote of the week comes from Andrew Johnson. "Honest conviction is my courage. The Constitution is my guide." He made this quote during the Reconstruction period. So that's our 17th president of the United States, Andrew Johnson. And I neglected to mention our League of Loyal Listeners, which we like to do. So our League of Loyal Listeners is, Judy, those are folks who regularly listen every week, or at least they tell us they do. So still the leader of the League of Loyal Listeners is Billy Jones.
Good morning, Mr. Billy.
Good morning, Billy. And then we got Master Chief Dan and his wife, Kay. We're going to have to check in with Master Chief and Kay and see how they're doing.
We're due for a visit.
Our Marine Corps pal, Jeff Kingdon.
Morning, Jeff.
And Talkin' Tom Piekarski and his wife, Eileen.
Morning, guys.
We got Charlie Hanger and his wife, Jenny. And we've got Valerie. And we've got Dennis. We heard from Dennis recently.
Yes, we did.
We got Sharon and Bill and Shane and Howard and his wife, Valerie, and William and his wife, Holly, and we've got Jim and Stephen, James, David and Mrs. Martin, James the Mail Maid. We got Bicycle Frank. Have you ever seen Bicycle Frank?
I think so, yeah.
Going up and down.
Yeah.
You ride a bike or
with the
tricycle.
with the white afro.
Yeah.
That's Bicycle Frank. So he's been on the show, too.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Hi.
He's a Navy veteran.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Awesome.
Then we've got Don and Delmer and Michael and we got Frankie Jr. and Frankie Sr.
Morning, guys.
And Heather and Kelly. And if I missed you, let us know. Okay? But we're going to press on. And, of course, this is the time of the program when I got to remind you that drivers, the DAV is seeking volunteer drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. That VA appointment can be at a VA medical center, VA healthcare clinic. It can be at a community care appointment that's been set up by the VA. It can be a compensation and pension examination for your service-connected disability compensation claim. So give the DAV Chapter 86 a call at 386-439-2122 to find out how you can volunteer. You do not need to use your own vehicle. The DAV has VA vehicles for that purpose. You do need to be insurable, and you do need to have a brief physical by the Department of Veterans Affairs. So, you have a couple of things that you want to talk about on our meetings and events?
Yeah, just from the American Legion, promoting that event that they're having. They're having their 5th annual charity golf tournament, honoring all who served. That's going to be on Saturday, October 4th, 2025. At the Palm Harbor Golf Club. If you are interested in participating, give them a call at 386-585-5302. They have in their registration. If you don't register early, you can register the same date at 7 a.m. And then they have the shotgun at 9, and at 1 p.m. they have a luncheon catered by Looper. So don't miss this event. And the BFW have quite a few events every day of the week. Support them. They're there for you. Everything that they make from those events is used for our veteran here locally, so support them.
Okay, so let's take a quick break, And we'll be back with you and Judy Jean, and we'll talk about gardening and planting and all her expertise and how she came to love what she does. We'll be right back.
I am blown away.
More people are listening to local radio than ever before.
The amount of people that come up to me and ask me about my radio ad is staggering.
More people are listening to local radio in more ways than ever before.
At least one a day. I mean it.
More people, more advertising results. To advertise on the radio, call Flagler Broadcasting Vice President of Sales, Kirk Keller.
Kirk Keller? Hey, that's me. 386-986-9911.
flaglerbroadcasting.com.
All right. Welcome back to Veterans on Point, and we are here with Judy Jean from Flagler County, and she's a horticulture agent. So, again, welcome, Judy.
Good morning and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super happy to be here.
Yeah, so first, tell our listeners a little bit more about you, how you came to love gardening and plants and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I work at the Extension office on the fairgrounds. So I'm Flagler County's horticulture agent and master gardener coordinator. It's kind of like a interesting story on how it all started. I've always loved being outdoors and working with plants. I've always had this affinity towards that. However, when I was doing my college, I was pursuing a career in the medical field, right? And so it was my last semester of my last year, the last half. So I'm doing my bachelor's in biomedical science with an emphasis in business. At this point, I've taken all the classes. So it's the last half, and I've already filled out my graduation papers and everything. And I'm outside, I'm looking at the lake, and I'm like, wow, this is not for me. I don't want to be indoors. I appreciate the individuals who are in the medical field, but
something spoke to you out of that lake that said, follow my passion, not what somebody else wants me to do.
Exactly. And I know, like, my parents, they really wanted me to do something in the medical field because, there's a lot of job security, and they weren't really sure what the job security would be like in agriculture.
I think that's pretty secure too.
It is, and that's something to where
now whether one day we do even indoor stuff, you would be, I didn't realize like the opportunities till like after the fact, right? So I decided like, hey, this isn't for me, and so it was kind of weird because my advisor's like,
Are you sure?
Yeah, we've came this far. So I took like 2 or 3 years off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do, right? At that point, I didn't know I wanted to go into horticulture. I just knew that I like being outside. I want to work with people. I want to teach people. That's the only thing I knew.
And you like plants.
Yes, and I love plants. So for like 2 years, I was trying to figure it out. And then my advisor, she actually went to the University of Florida. She's an entomologist, and she's like, okay, Judy, I'm tired of seeing you wandering. She's like, I thought you were going to figure out on your own, but it's taking a little bit longer. And so she's like, you know what, Judy?
That's what mentors are for.
Exactly.
Try to get you back on track.
Yeah, she's like, okay, this isn't working out the way I thought it was going to work out. So she said, okay, Judy, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to teach people, and I want to be outside. And so she's like, do you want to grade papers or not? I'm like, I don't like grading papers. So she said, you want to be an extension. And I'm like, what's extension? She's like, you don't know what extension is? And I'm like, no. And so she explained to me how extension is a partnership with the federal government, the local government, and land grant institution. And our whole job is to teach people research-based information informally, right? So there's no tests, there's nothing like that. And I love that. And so I was like, oh, yeah, I want to do that because I don't have to grade papers, and I can be around people and be outside and do things differently. And so she told me, hey, Judy, you like working with plants, being with plants? I'm like, yes. She said, okay, you want to go into horticulture. And horticulture is the science and beauty of how to grow plants, right? And I was like, yeah, I want to do that. So she told me, hey, go to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and see what you can find there. So I was like, okay. So I got up, went to that campus, and it was summertime, around this same time, actually. And so all the professors were gone, except for one professor. I saw a sign that said, he needed research assistants. And I was like, I can help you. And he was like, do you even go to school here? I was like, no. And so then that started my journey off in being in the soil physics lab. I never knew there was physics related to soil at all. And so I was literally playing with the dirt for 18 months. So we would be all across Nebraska looking at dirt and how it's like gravitational pull with water and all this crazy stuff that you would never think.
I think we have from the stuff that I've listened to, we have a real problem with our soil in this country, right? It's being overused and chemically fertilized rather than naturally fertilized and all that stuff.
Well, some of the things that we've learned, like throughout the years, is how do we change our management practices to better
rotate the crops better,
exactly,
like the farmers used to do.
Yeah, so like crop rotation, also the type of plants that we're planting as well too. And so that's something, some of the studies that when I was working with that professor, and like Nebraska predominantly, like they grow corn, right? So how the soil reacts with like crop rotation, and then also with biochar and things like that. So it was actually really cool looking at the soil and then also looking at the biomass of the corn and of the wheat and all the different things.
Are we losing nutrients in the plants too because of the diminished soil properties?
Yeah, so that's something to where we're trying our best to look at how we can be able to have the best nutrients in the plants by our management practices that we do. So that's some of the things that we do, or some of the things that we're looking at. And a lot of land grant institutions are looking at that. And the University of Florida also is looking to see, because our soils are different across the states, even sometimes across the street. It can be completely
That's
different.
true.
I think so, because one person's grass grows better than the other.
yeah.
And it might even be very similar or the same treatment.
Yeah.
And then it just grows
Totally different.
Exactly.
Totally different.
And so, like, it's cool how, like, other people are looking on, like, how important the soil is. I didn't realize how important soil is. I remember I used to call it dirt, right? And my professor told me, he's like, no, it's not dirt, it's soil. I'm like, what's the difference?
I was about to call it dirt earlier. So
Yeah.
I said, let her talk
It's
first.
just semantics.
Yeah. At first I was like, is this semantics? What's the
soil.
difference? And they told me the difference is soil is living, right? Dirt is what's under your fingernails. Soil is actually living. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it that way. So after being in that lab as a research assistant for 18 months, I went up to my my master's advisor and I said, hey, can I be your student? And she's like, no. I was like, oh. And so I went back again and asked her, I'm like, hey, can I be your
As bubbly as you are, they said no.
Yeah. She's like, I went back again because I thought she was just so cool. She did a lot of like really great work with plants, and she did a lot of great work with essential oils too. That was kind of like what she did towards the end of her career. And so I asked her a second time and she told me, yeah, I don't have any money to support you. I can't do it. So I was like, okay, like it's better than just no, you know? And then I asked her the third time and she looked at me. She's like, so what kind of research do you want to do? And I was like, I want to work with strawberries. And she's like,
go to Plant City.
Right? Well, the ironic part about it, she's like, I just got awarded a grant for strawberries.
Oh, wow. How fortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I can have you now as a student. So I started my master's career in working with fruits, so strawberries, and we were seeing how like dormancy affected strawberries up in Nebraska, which you would never think, like Nebraska strawberries, there's no correlation. I did work with chokeberries. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Chokeberries?
Yeah. I was like, what's...
Sound like something you need the Heimlich for. If it...
Yes!
But let's get it. We're going to have to... We're running out of time, so let's bring this around to how the stuff for veterans and the program.
We have like a ton of things that we do at our extension office. That...
I would love to talk to you all day, but we got to bring this around to...
Forgot about it. It was so cool, what she's doing, but...
Yeah. Well, we have a ton of things that we're doing. We have free events that we do, activities that we do about how to teach you about how to have a better landscape. I know on, I believe, June 24th, I have a free class going on at the Southern Rec Center on how to do container gardening.
In Palm Coast, right?
Yeah, in Palm Coast. You know the new one that they built on?
Yeah, off of Belterre.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll be doing a class there June 24th from 9 to 11. So definitely come out. Also, I'll be doing another class there on July 22nd on low effort composting. Because a lot of times people think that composting is like this whole big thing. We also have plant clinics at the Palm Coast Library, which we'll have one on June 28th. So if you have plant problems, bring it to us. Our whole goal is to help you. And then also, since fruit production is kind of like my specialty, we have a small fruits class on tropical fruits. We'll be talking about pineapples, passion fruit, and dragon fruit, and how you can grow them in your backyard. So definitely reach out and see.
What phone number can people reach you to find out more information?
Okay, so the phone number is 386-437-7464. The extension office, call us up, and then we'll give you the information to sign up for those classes. And we have like a ton of other things we do too.
Now, what's the science between how one person has a green thumb and then another person is this terrible?
No colors at all in that thumb.
Like our friend Jose, who's got a beautiful, beautiful plants in his backyard. His plants will grow. He's got like a banana tree that'll grow to 25 feet tall, and then he gives me the same one. I put it in my soil, and it stays like 2 feet tall,
like a midget plant. I know mine's the same way. It doesn't grow.
What's the science behind? Do some people just really have a green thumb? The plants respond to them. They love them.
There has been like research done that plants actually respond better to like positivity in certain music.
I think he's got some good positivity.
Yeah, I have another friend in St. Augustine. He just throws a seed and he grows green and healthy. And I do the same thing at home. I put better soil. Mm-hmm. I learned that today.
Black cow.
Black cow, maize, all that nice stuff. It still doesn't grow as it grows with him.
Really? I think I don't know the science, but I know like the philosophy I have is like you just have to activate your green thumb. I think everyone has one. You just have to activate it.
How do you do that? That's why you're here.
A lot of trial
Come to your class.
Yes, come to my class, and you'll be activated. And you can go ahead.
Or you'll get your start on activation, and then you take practice, right?
Yes,
I think it takes
a lot of trial and error, but everyone has a green thumb. Anyone can do it. It's just picking like the right plant with your personality. Sometimes it might be a cactus. Sometimes it could be a banana tree. So,
cactus.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things you can grow.
So. Yeah, that's it. So what you said your favorite is fruits?
Yes, I love fruits.
Your favorite strawberries?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, that's actually like my favorite strawberries. At our office, I'm growing strawberries.
In your office?
Yeah.
Like hydroponic ones or?
No, this time they're in the soil at our extension office. I want to grow some hydroponically in the fall.
What do you think about that whole in the future whole warehouses where you don't need soil anymore? Wow. You could just do it by
just hydroponically. I think it's really interesting how you can be able to grow like plants with just water and nutrients. I've tasted some strawberries that I've heard some people say strawberries grown hydroponically don't taste the same or aren't as flavorful.
Probably not.
Yeah, well.
But the thing is,
they're not getting the good life soil.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And
I believe so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, like, it's weird is like my boyfriend is a soil scientist, so hopefully he's not out of a job. But
no, I just think it's something that'll supplement our way of life. Not,
I think so
won't take us out of.
No,
Well, his job's important because, like we were talking about earlier, soil is suffering, and so it's
very
going to be
much
people like
especially
him
right now, yes.
to educate how to restore it.
Yes, he does a lot of great work with regenerative agriculture.
He's up in Virginia?
Right now, he's up in Indiana. He works for the University of Purdue right now. So
interesting. So
yeah.
breadbasket.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think. Yeah.
Judy Jean, it's been. I wish I could talk to you all day long.
Yes.
This is
we
interesting.
We can do a part B, part C,
and we'd like to have you back another time to even talk about it, see how things are going, how the classes went on June 24th.
Please.
And but now we got the clue from our producer. We're under the 2 minutes, so that's when I got to let people know that no country and no state does more for veterans than the United States of America, the great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the lovely city of Palm Coast, all of our beautiful beach cities, all of our greenery and soil and everything that makes the plants grow. And we encourage you to be a victor, not a victim, to be educated, not indoctrinated, and most importantly, be kind to someone today or many someones.
Indeed.
And we thank you for listening. Eric, any final
thank
comments?
you guys for listening. Thank you, Miss Judy. We appreciated you being in the show. I mean, like Dave said, we could go on and on and on because I really like that topic.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I really like it. Yeah.
And you got a great personality for delivery,
Yes.
so you have a great face for UF and Flagler County. So, any final thoughts from you?
Everyone has a green thumb. Go outside, play in dirt, and contact me for all your plant. Yeah. Play in soil. Yes. Thank you.
Get dirty, play in soil.
Yeah. And contact me at the Extension office for any of your plant problems. We're here for you.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here, and thanks for listening and
you,
watching.
guys.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. To be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota
to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea.
From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say